Huge explosions shake the Syrian capital Damascus. The government is blaming Israel for the multiple rocket attack. The assault comes in the wake of extensive military operations by the Syrian army, with the foreign-backed insurgents suffering heavy defeats. According to reports by Syrian media, the Israeli rocket attack targeted a research center in Jamraya in the suburbs of Damascus, causing a number of casualties. Israel targeted the same research center back in January. Israel has already bombed Syria twice this year. On Friday, Israeli warplanes targeted an unspecified location. Israeli officials claim the attack targeted a shipment of advanced missiles bound for the Lebanese resistance movement Hezbollah. Syria says the new attack comes as part of efforts to raise the spirits of terrorist groups, including Al-Qaeda militants fighting against the government. Well, to discuss that a bit further, and I join Mr. Kamil Wazni, who is a political analyst, who is joining us live now from the Lebanese capital, Beirut. Mr. Wazni, thanks a lot for joining us. Now, how should we react to this Israeli involvement, this continuous Israeli involvement in the Syrian crisis?
Well, we have to look at the circumstances. These attacks are coming from the Israeli. We have been seeing a military operation by the Syrian, major advancement and liberation of lands been occupied by the opposition. I think the Israeli came to the rescue of the Syrian opposition, came to the rescue of Al-Qaeda, and they want to enter and fight on the opposition side. This is not a new thing. Now the Israeli, which actually have been participating in the war against President Bashar al-Assad through its operation that located in Turkey. There was talks that the Mossad actually there in an operational room with the CIA. Now we see the Israeli entered directly on the attack against what's supposed to be classified as a selective target. I think the army of President Bashar al-Assad has actually gaining the ground, and the sentiment is actually on the side of the Syrian army. Somebody want to change the tone and the calculus and the media attention on the achievement of the president of Syria, and this is actually will have a repercussion. The Israeli will pay, in my estimate, in my analysis, a heavy price for their direct attack against a sovereign country. What we see is a violation of international country, and I think the UN should take a stand on what is taking place on this attack.
Right, Mr. Wazni, we're getting breaking news now that Iran has essentially said that, the defense minister of Iran, that is, has said that this attack on Syria was a sign of Israel's desperation, and also the fact that, that this could not have gone ahead without the U.S. giving its green light as well. So let's talk about the U.S. involvement then. Why would Washington want to be using Tel Aviv in Syria?
Well, that statement is very much on the mark, and that's basically speak to the testament of the major achievement of the Syrian army and the result of the president of Syria, Bashar al-Assad. He actually calculated very well. He launched an attack on this opposition. He wanna drove those terrorists away from his country. I think the Israeli actually sometimes they work on their own decision, and sometimes they work on the American with the American help. We know that in 2 days there's going to be a major meeting between the foreign minister of United States and his counterpart from Russia. They wanted to look for a political solution for the situation in Syria. I think today, the president of Syria actually making that equation very easy for the Russian to on the ground, because ultimately the decision rests with people who actually have control of the ground. And I think the president of Syria proved that the Syrian army are determined, capable, and can operate in a short notice. And I think the American if they want to feel they can put a lot of pressures on the Syrian side to get leeway in that negotiation that will take place between 7 and 8 of this month, they are mistaken, because I think the Syrian army and the president of Syria are determined to gain the upper hand and to drive all these terrorists away from these city and town that has been occupied by them for a very long time.
All right, we'll have to leave it there for now, but of course we do appreciate your insight. That was Mr. Kalman Wezni speaking to us live from Beirut.